Let me know if it doesn't work for some reason. Just let me know. Okay. All right.
So you've just had a realization, haven't you? Well, I hope you can have one during the time. Good to see you, too.
Thank you so much, Corey. We take every opportunity we can to thank Corey. It's such a blessing.
You're also good to me.
Well, welcome everyone to our fellowship Sunday service, and we're glad to have all of you here in person and all those who are watching online. We have a big group watching online, so we'll all just keep them in our consciousness as if they were here and we were with them. I want to remind everybody up front, so I don't wait until the last minute. In your packets on your seat, you had a connection card, and we're asking that if you have anyone that you'd like to pray for today during our service, anyone, anything, any situation, any condition, whatever prayer you would like to offer as a group, please write it on this card, and as the basket comes around later, you can just put it right in the card. Thank you. So we're going to start out with our new order of service, prayer of the child of love, and it should be right in the front of your songbook. Hopefully. Yes, you might have to share.
Oh, no.
No. Okay, please stand and we'll sing together.
When we come to the part where just voices at the end, let's hear those wonderful harmonies I've been hearing for the last couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to it.
Do our best. Yeah, really.
So let's begin our opening meditation. I want you to close your eyes and just begin to relax. Feel that relaxation flow through your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Let's take 2 deep breaths together with a big release on the out breath. Breathing in. And breathing in. We bring our full attention to the one loving presence, the all that is. surrounds us and flows through us, as us, into this world. We are so grateful to be together and for this beautiful, beautiful day. Autumn reminds us that change is constant. And so we lean into the change that comes with this new season. And we lean into the changes that are happening in our lives, softening our hearts and opening to the full flow of divine love. Here together we bring our energy as one, and our hearts beat with the energetic pulse of the universe. And through these vibrational vessels, these human bodies, we extend healing and peace and joy to all beings on this planet. And together we say, and so it is, so it is. Thank you so much. We're going to sing another fellowship song together on page 3, so I'll let you have a chance to find that. Page 3, we have The Power, and then I invite you to stand. Greet our neighbors and turn to each other with a namaste or a hug or a handshake or whatever is comfortable for you.
You get one too.
Okay.
have heard Jim Post and Sue Ward play at one of our events during the summer, but we're happy to have them here for service. Jim Post is the vice president of our steering committee, so you're all familiar with him, and this is his sister, Sue Ward. So let's give them a really warm welcome. Thank you, Jim and Sue, for sharing with us. Now's the time in our service when we stop and fill our hearts with gratitude for our blessings and gifts and all of the abundance in our lives. And we say a special thank you for all of the generosity that you all provide to the fellowship. Whether you're putting your gift together right now or you give online, I'd like for you to hold your gift in consciousness. And John will come around with the basket. of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. And I invite you to close your eyes and bring close into your heart the people, the situations, the conditions that you put on your prayer card this afternoon in this basket. We join together to pray for all those in this basket this afternoon. May there be healing and light. May there be peace and happiness. And we extend this blessing out to all those on our planet who are in need of comfort and love. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. One more fellowship song today on page 19. Yeah, I've had this one for a while. It's a beautiful song. I know, so please stand on page 19.
Your mind loves habits because it makes its job easier. You don't have to think about everything. So you figure out the best way to do something somehow, and then you make it automatic, and then you don't really have to think about it anymore. You just do it. And actually, a good share of humanity lives on habit. That is, we go through the day unconscious, just expressing our habits. So as many of you know, I walk every morning. I've done so for 2 years and 4 months, and I haven't missed a morning. Outside, I go about 3 miles. I never miss a day. Sun, clouds, rain, snow, ice, whatever. I'm out there. On 2 mornings out of those 800 or so days, I walked in airports because I was flying out west. But I still did my walking and praying. So, as I said that, when I walk, I pray, I meditate, I process issues, I envision, and I also ask for help. When I get up in the morning, I don't make a decision to walk. I just do it. The question isn't whether I walk or not. The question is, at what time? And how will I dress for the weather? Why is there no decision? Because it's a habit. A habit is automatic. You have habits. Some are healthy. Some are not. I know this because I have habits too. For example, another habit I have that's been lifelong is biting my nails. All through childhood into adulthood. I stopped several years ago for a year or 2, then I started again. But I decided to stop. And about a week or 2 ago, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. So now, I have white space on all of my nails, all 10 of them. How am I doing that? Well, I decided to reward myself. So I'm going to get a manicure. I've never had a manicure. I'm going to let someone else care for my nails and cuticles. Maybe massage my hands, whatever they do in a manicure. That's my reward. And then I'll be able to look at my hands, expertly cared for by someone, and say, wow, these look good. I'm proud of that. That's my reward. And hopefully that reward will carry through. The key to creating positive habits and eliminating unhealthy ones begins with awareness. Aware that you're doing something, or you're thinking or feeling in ways that are destructive. Also being aware that you have a goal. You want better health. You want spiritual growth. You want more wealth. You want more fun. Whatever your goal may be. And you need to create habits to take you there. And in order to create or let go of habits, because you also need to let go of negative habits to take you there, it's important to build in rewards and consequences, as I've done with the thing with my nails. So I enjoy my morning walk. If I didn't walk, I'd be disappointed. If I have an 8 a.m. meeting, then I'm walking at 6 a.m. Even if it's dark, doesn't matter. I do whatever it takes to walk and pray every morning. The walk and the prayers are intrinsically rewarding. It's not some goal I'm going for that I'm hoping to get to. It's the walking and praying itself that is rewarding. I enjoy them so much. I enjoy the trees and the wildlife. I enjoy greeting the people I pass on the trail. Nature feeds me. Even on a dark, cold winter morning, it feeds me. Trudging through a foot of snow, I'm fed. Even when I have to slap a few mosquitoes or deal with rain falling on me, each day I have a sense of accomplishment. The goals I've established are important. A closer connection with God, increased ability to hear my inner voice, greater health and well-being. I see progress in those. But the important thing is not the goals. The important thing is the process. If I walk and pray today, I have accomplished something. I've done something. And I feel that sense of accomplishment, whether or not the things I affirm and envision for come to fruition or not. You are your habits. And so, to create spiritual habits, or any positive habits, you need to become them. That needs to be who you are. So often people set a goal to be a good meditator, to lose X amount of pounds, to make a certain amount of money, to meet someone they can partner with. And when the goal doesn't happen fast enough, they quit the process, they give up. I've done that. You don't have control over ultimate outcomes. You have control over what you think and speak and do. So create positive habits in your thinking, speaking, and doing, and you are automatically successful every day if you just do them. That's it. And if it feels like what you're doing is not satisfying, not helping you, then make an adjustment. Create a different process for yourself. It's not the goal that matters, it's the trajectory. For example, if your goal is to be wealthy, and every month you spend more money than you make, then you are on the wrong trajectory. And that needs to be changed. You need to fix that. If your goal is to lose X amount of pounds and you're binging on food every day or sweets, then you're not on the right trajectory. You need to do something. You have to have habits that are in alignment with what the goal is. And again, it's not about how fast the goal gets to you or if you even accomplish the goal. It's about being on the right trajectory and being the person that you want to be every day, not someday. Well, what if I miss a morning on my walks? Well, that may be okay, I haven't. But don't miss 2 mornings or more. Don't break the chain. Don't break the streak. The comedian Jerry Seinfeld writes at least 1 joke every day and has always done so. That's his rule. I have to write a joke every day. It's a bad joke, it's okay. I write one every day. Lance Armstrong, when he was active, rode his bike every day for several hours. Other famous cyclists, if they had success, they'd be out partying. Lance was always on the bike. Tiger Woods played golf every day. Doesn't matter how good you get at something. It's important you make it automatic. Habits are automatic. And this can create a problem. Because habits are unconscious. That is, we don't even realize we're doing them every day. My youngest sister raised 3 girls. And she's a single mom. All of them are age 10 and under. And it was quite some time after the birth of her youngest before she was able to get out with friends. Finally, she got out. She's at a dinner with her girlfriends. The waiter places their dinners on the table. My sister grabs her knife and fork, immediately reaches for her friend's plate and starts cutting her meat. She froze as she realized what she was doing. Her friend looked at her and smiled. Wow, you really do need to help. A woman who was a kindergarten teacher for many years took a corporate job. When her colleagues used the restroom, she found herself asking if they had washed their hands. That was a hard habit to break. However, an aside, in being out in public a lot, I noticed that, at least in terms of men, there are a lot of men who don't wash their hands, so watch out. And actually, you know, we've been through all this COVID stuff. One of the most important things, more important than any other habit, is hand washing. That's what the random control studies have shown, that hand washing makes a difference in terms of preventing the transmission of COVID. So maybe it is okay to ask people if they wash their hands. So let's talk about meditation. We all know that some form of meditation can be especially effective in our spiritual development. And many of us, including me, are not that good at meditating. We can't sit still, or our thoughts constantly wander, and we're telling ourselves stories. Or we're just distracted by whatever's going on around us. Or we're telling ourselves, I don't have time to meditate, I'm too busy. Or I'll fit it in if I have time. If you set a goal such as, I'm going to meditate for an hour every morning, that's probably too much. The way you build a spiritual habit, or any positive habit, is to start small. Commit to meditate 5 minutes. That's it. I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes this morning. It says 7 a.m. on my clock. I'm meditating from now till 7:05. I'm totally focusing these 5 minutes to meditation. When it hits 7:05 and the little buzzer goes off, I'm done. I move on. So you make it easy to do that. Create a place in your home or wherever you are that's conducive to meditation. A certain chair, a cushion on the floor, a corner of a room, a desk that inspires you to meditate. Light a candle, play soft music, find a place where it's completely silent. Headphones can be used either to play music or to cut out distracting sounds. Do whatever it takes, but do it for 5 minutes. And then over time, when you find that you're successful, then you'll say, you know what, I might as well go another 5. Let's try 10 minutes now. And you work your way up, but start small. Set yourself up to succeed. Each morning, my cat wakes me up between 6 and 6:30. I feed her, drink water, dress myself. Then I sit on the couch in my living room, this is before my walk usually, with a blanket on my lap. The cat jumps up. I pet her a few times and she falls asleep. And then I meditate, anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes, depending on what's going on that day. Sometimes I nod off, but usually I stay awake. I choose some positive phrases to focus my attention. My attention usually does not want to be focused, but I do it anyway. At the very least, I'm sitting peacefully and perfectly still and breathing for that time period. That's for sure. And I like it. Even though it's not what I would call great success, I still like it. The important thing in establishing a habit is this: show up. Showing up. Just do it. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you can do. Start with something. And if you can do it around the same time each day, that's great. I don't always walk at the same time every morning because my schedule changes. But sometime between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., I walk. I show up. Back in the 1990s, I often struggled with writer's block. I followed the advice of Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way. Some of you are familiar with that book. And I did what she called morning pages. Every morning, I wrote 3 pages. It was unimportant what I wrote, or whether there was any quality in the writing. It was important that I wrote 3 pages every morning. I did that every day for 3 months. Today, I don't write every day now, but I write most days, depending on what I'm working on. I have never had writer's block since that time, since those 3 months. Not ever. I always know. In the years since my morning pages, I have written and published 9 books, hundreds of talks like these, and hundreds of published articles, mostly online. Often when I write, I do it for 15 or 20 minutes. I have an idea or whatever, I sit down and write it. If I'm on a roll, I'll write for hours. The point is, when I decide to write, or something is due, I show up. I do it. Whether it's the spirit or the deadline that motivates me, I do it. And once I start, I'm good. It's automatic. The hardest habit for me to break are thinking habits. I've always been a storyteller in my head. And those stories have often been quite negative. Over the decades, I've eliminated many of those stories, those storylines, but I still have some. So recently, prior to a family gathering, I started creating stories in my head, creating conflict with certain members in my family. And it was very real inside my head. It was what you might call a very addictive thought pattern. That is, I had no control over it. I just kept doing it. Finally, I became the observer of myself. I listened to myself and I asked, is this what I want? Is this who I want to be? Honestly, for a part of me, it was what I wanted. Because when you imagine these kinds of things in your head, conflict with others, then you're always the self-righteous victim. You're always the good one, right? So there's a little bit of a dopamine rush with that. In a sense, it hurts so good. I knew these stories in my rational mind were not real. I was making them up. My family members were innocent. I wasn't having conversations with them. It was all in my head. So I asked Spirit for help in this. And I asked the question, who am I being when I do this? when I run these stories in my mind, I was being powerless, a victim, self-righteous, as I said. So I allowed myself to just be a victim, to feel the emotional state that comes with victimhood. Anger, hurt, resentment, frustration, I just let it hit. I let it flow. Without judging it, without telling myself it's wrong or right, I just felt it. And without feeding it with more stories and drama, just immersing myself in the emotion. I let it play out. I accepted it, and I embraced it. That is, I accepted it, it's mine, and I embraced it with love. And it played out, and it dissipated pretty much because I let it run. And then I asked myself, what do I truly want? Well, I want positive, loving relationships. I want to feel good when I'm with my family members. I want to feel joyful to be there. So in order to feel that, who do I need to be? Well, I need to be powerful, a center of love and light, a center of influence. I need to be appreciative and a good listener, and a good sense of humor could help too. I became that. I saw myself that way. I just started doing that. I know how to do those things. And it was easy, because I had played out the negative emotion. It no longer had power over me. The gathering, when it actually happened, it was great. And there were multiple texts from family members afterwards saying how much they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. You know, when you look at that, I think it's just something in the Four Agreements about that is, don't believe what you think. And I always tell myself when I'm having those kind of dramas in my head, don't believe what you think. Or another great one is Byron Katie on her question, is it true? Are you absolutely sure this is true? And of course, the answer was no, I was making it up. And then the other question she asked is, who are you being when you think that way? And who would you be if you didn't think that way? Her stuff is great. All right, so to summarize, create new habits by clarifying what you want, and then create a system to get there. Habits for achieving that. Start small and show up every day. If you break the chain, start again. Eliminate bad habits by making it rewarding to let go of the habit. There was a woman who decided that she wanted to lose some weight. And so she found a picture of another woman who really had a nice shape that she thought was achievable for herself. And in the picture, the woman was naked. So she took this naked picture and she taped it up inside of her refrigerator. So that every time she opened the refrigerator door, she saw that picture. And she could ask her the question, which do I want? The immediate gratification of the snacks and food, or do I want this body? And it worked so well that in the first month, she lost 10 pounds. But there was an interesting side effect. Her husband gained 10 pounds. Eliminate negative thinking habits by looking into the negative feelings that are their source. Ask who I'm being when I think this way. Then allow yourself to be that person and feel those feelings, identify those feelings, experience them without judgment, without feeding them with more thoughts and drama. Immerse yourself in the emotion and just let it move through you. Emotions are meant to be felt. And then create a new self and feel that. Play that self. Once you allow all the negative emotions to play out and you accept and embrace them, you're no longer resisting them, then the negative thinking patterns have no source. And if they have no source, they don't come up anymore. It's not about willpower and saying, oh, I can't think this way, I've got to stop thinking this way. It's about getting to the cause. The person inside of you who sparks those thoughts. The emotional state of being that sparks that way of thinking. Ultimately, creating positive habits is about becoming those habits. You do not become spiritually aligned someday. You don't become healthy or thinner someday, or wealthier someday, or well-loved someday. You do it right now with your habits. You don't learn Spanish by studying for an hour one night. You learn it by studying a little bit each day. You don't become enlightened in one moment, contrary to stories that you hear. I went online once and I watched videos of 10 different people who claim to be enlightened. I am absolutely sure that none of them are. They had an enlightenment experience. A wonderful experience, no doubt. That does not make them enlightened. Because if you're enlightened, it means that you don't have an ego anymore. And you're not attached to anything anymore. And I didn't see that in them. So it's wonderful if you have a great experience like that. But unless you become it every day, you're not there yet. But I mean, it's great to have the vision, and I know people who've had that vision, and they just work really hard to try to get back there and have it again. Know that practicing your habits, your positive habits every day, is in itself rewarding. It's an accomplishment. Pat yourself on the back. Let go of the ultimate goal and just show up every day. So if you've watched Spartan football at all, they have to take their eyes off the scoreboard and forget about whether they win or lose. I keep hearing there's a failure to execute. Work on that. Work on execution, and the score will take care of itself. It's the same for you. Quit looking at the scoreboard all the time. Quit looking at the big results you're going for. And look at your daily execution. What are you thinking every day? What habits are you practicing? Negative, positive? What are you doing? Look at that. And don't worry about the outcomes, because ultimately you don't have control over the outcomes. All you have control over is now and the things that you think and do and say. Whatever person that you want to be, whatever you're looking for to manifest, you have to be that person. So show up as that person every day. Make being that person a habit. So positive growth in spirituality or anything else can be habit forming. And your mind loves habits. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Always such wonderful talks we get from you. On page 35, we join together our thoughts, our prayers.
Is
and Sue. Thank you, Corey. Thanks so much for sharing your music with us. Thank you, Bill, for the wonderful message and all the good reminders. Isn't this pretty? Thank you, Samantha. Beautiful. And thank you all for being here and choosing to spend some time with us this afternoon. Thank you, virtual watchers, for being with us as well. I just have a few reminders coming up this month. We have the Deaf Cafe again on the third Saturday of the month at 2 p.m. in the office. We want to remind everyone that we're going to continue on with our end of the month potluck. So the last Sunday of the month we'll have another potluck. And also we have a wonderful, and I think it will be really interesting, workshop coming up on October 29th. Lucille Olson's daughter-in-law is a medium, and she's going to be doing a workshop for us on October 29th, which is a Saturday, about empowering us to be able to communicate and connect, and also doing some private sessions in the afternoon. So just watch your e-announcements for all of those details, and make sure that you register with us. And now it's time to do our peace circle and closing blessing. Thanks again.